I have very simple needs that need to be met if I'm going to enjoy a Jurassic movie. Which is why it's all the more curious that the last two films in this franchise did nothing to satisfy those needs. Before I get started, I'd like to kindly ask that you hit the like button, and please subscribe to the channel for more content just like this.
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
So Jurassic World Dominion is being promoted as the epic conclusion to the Jurassic saga. When it comes right down to it, basically they're just trying to haphazardly wrap up all the stories from both trilogies. And yes, that means we get a combination of old school Jurassic Park legacy characters and the new Jurassic World characters.
Whoopie fucking do. Hey, I'm impressed.
Listen, Jurassic Park as a whole is a very important franchise to me as a movie lover. I still have very vivid memories of the first time that I watched the original Jurassic Park. So every time a new Jurassic movie comes out, it's a family affair for me. And we go in our little group and hopefully have an awesome cinematic experience. It doesn't take much for me to enjoy my experience watching these movies. It's dinosaurs, for Christ's sake. In fact, I would say that I actually enjoy all of the Jurassic Park trilogy, as well as the first Jurassic World to varying degrees.
No shit.
And then came Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, and that to me is when the franchise officially fell off the rails. Fallen Kingdom was the first Jurassic movie that I remember not having a good time with it from start to finish. In that movie, it felt like they were trying too hard to do something different, so much so that they actually ended up removing a lot of what people like about Jurassic Park in the first place. And that in effect put this movie Dominion in a situation where it had to continue that story.
Fuck me, right?
Listen, any Jurassic Park or World movie needs to be about dinosaurs first and foremost. After all, that's what sells the movies. It's not about the characters, it's about the dinosaurs. And the moments with the dinosaurs in Dominion were probably the best parts of this movie. As always, it was great to see new species that we've never seen before on screen, and it was also great to see returning fan favorites like Dilophosaurus or Velociraptors. And let's face it, anytime we get to see T-Rex, that is usually the best parts of these movies. Because every time I see one, I'm reminded of that time that I saw him for the first time.
Whoa, whoa. Here I come. Oh, here I come. Oh.
And some of you may be happy to know that they used practical animatronics to bring some of the smaller dinosaurs to life. But that's pretty much where my praise for this movie stops. Like I always say, there is a fine line between proper fan service and empty nostalgia bait. And unfortunately, Jurassic World Dominion falls in the latter category. Yes, Alan Grant, Ellie Sattler, and Ian Malcolm all return for this film, but their appearances don't give me the warm and fuzzy feelings like they should.
Hold on to your butts.
Now, thankfully, they didn't really do anything to ruin those characters, but their inclusion does feel a bit unnecessary and forced. Most of the time, it just felt like there was nothing for these characters to do other than to simply exist. It's always the worst when you bring back old characters and have no purpose behind it. And that's what this felt like. Even one of the new characters from Jurassic World who I like, in Owen, also kind of falls victim to being in a movie with too many characters. There's just not enough time for everyone to be reintroduced and treated properly.
That makes sense.
And like I said, most people just show up to these movies to see dinosaur mayhem anyway. The trend of a greedy company making bad decisions continues here, because not only are humans struggling to coexist with dinosaurs in this new world, you also have a new company trying to control everything, even if that means a lot of people losing their lives. Does any of this sound familiar? There's even subplots about giant locusts and the clone girl from Fallen Kingdom that again just inspired no interest from me because I came there to watch dinosaurs. By injecting random plot points into this story, you take the focus of what is really important, dinosaurs.
Now eventually you do plan to have dinosaurs on your dinosaur tour, right?
Plus, there was just so many instances in this movie where I thought to myself, that doesn't make any sense. Like someone outrunning a raptor on foot, or a giant dinosaur conveniently not eating someone when he should. We are a long way removed from the raptors in the lab scene from the original film. Remember how tense that scene was because it felt like a no-win situation for the kids? We don't get any of that suspense in Jurassic World Dominion. In fact, this movie only really feels like a Jurassic movie in a handful of scenes. The rest of the time it feels more like a generic action or spy movie.
This is whack! I can't get jiggy with this shit!
I also felt like it was a huge missed opportunity for them not to explore the concept of dinosaurs roaming free amongst us. That setup at the end of the last movie was the only intrigue I had coming out of it. But instead we just resorted back to humans trying to avoid dinosaurs in a controlled location. And I swear they just redid the conflict from the original Jurassic World in this movie and then just tried to pass it off as something new. It all just felt very lazy to me.
Put some effort into it!
Overall, I felt like Jurassic World Dominion had too many characters and plot lines and not enough dinosaurs. The characters are bland, especially the returning legacy characters who were clearly just brought back for empty nostalgia bait. The plot was mostly convoluted, the situations they placed the characters in were dumb, they barely even played the iconic John Williams Jurassic Park score. I guess it wasn't in the budget for them to pay him for this, I don't know.
Show me the money.
Jurassic World Dominion continued the trend started by Fallen Kingdom, and that's this franchise straying too far away from what works. Maybe this is the one instance where I'd be okay with a franchise abiding by a formula. Because every time it seems like they try to stray away from that formula, that's when things go south. Or maybe you just need more creative minds working on these movies to make all this work. Either way, Jurassic World Dominion was mostly disappointing for me, and that's unfortunate, but that's why I'm going to have to give it the Angry Rocky.
That's right, it stinks!
Y'all be cool. Right on.